Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and this program is about an ongoing series investigating the spiritual culture that's developing in America and around the world. And with that, people are coming forward who are connected to higher levels of consciousness, higher aspects of our own being. Tonight I have Shareane Baff, who's a jewelry designer, but in the real sense of what jewelry is all about, which I feel is to connect us to spirit, isn't it?
Yes, to connect us with what is our purpose here? Why are we here? What are we going to do for this planet? And how can we make ourselves happy?
Well, you come from a Feng Shui background, a
Yes.
design background, but how does jewelry, how do these bracelets connect, how would they connect me to making me happy and why I came here?
Well, very simply, in Feng Shui, we use crystal to adjust energy in a home.
Right.
So crystal can absorb negative energy, lift energy, and send it back to where it's coming from. So if you're getting any negative energy, it's going to shift it away, or it's going to transform that energy into something positive. It's also going to allow you to raise your vibration. And when your vibration is raised, it means you're going to bring in more light energy. And when we bring in light energy, we're happy. And when we're happy, we can manifest what we want.
I see. So, okay, so these are crystals.
They're Swarovski crystals, which
so
are
natural crystals.
They're not natural crystals. They're the best crystals made in Austria, and their faceting is fabulous. Their color density is great. And the reason we use Swarovski crystal is that it holds the intention. And in Feng Shui, we learn how to put intention into a home and into the crystal so that we can change our life. So if I put it in a lesser quality crystal, I would do all this work, and it does take 3 weeks to do a bracelet to put that energy in, and it wouldn't hold. So we have to know that this energy is enduring, and the bracelet that you're holding is angelically guided, and that one is for balance and harmony, which we all need.
We do. Well, let's talk about some of the things that you do, because you design the bracelet and then you charge it.
Yes.
Because you say word, and then we talk about this on the show.
Yes.
Words are things and words are power.
Yes.
So you would design this, you'd make it, and then what would you do to charge this?
Then it sits on mineral rock crystals for a period of 3 weeks. We have some crystals out here.
Yes.
And so each bracelet would go on a crystal, and over a period of 3 years, I channel the information as to each bracelet has its own schedule. So for example, a bracelet like Lakshmi, who's all about receiving and prosperity, she sits many, many days on citrine, which is to bring in abundance, to bring in money.
Well, speaking of Lakshmi and all the gods and
Yes.
that's another aspect of your work, is that you can see these angelic presences and these higher gods and these beings that exist on higher levels that are associated with different colors. Well, first tell me how you got to see these presences, and then how you use that with the jewelry.
So, to travel back to when I was 8 years old,
yes,
a man tried to rape me.
At 8 years old?
At 8 years old. And we found this man, and we brought him to trial. And so as an 8-year-old little girl, having to walk up to that seat up in the front of the court was very frightening. And then having to look at my attacker was frightening. And so these beautiful angels would come and they would walk me up to the seat.
You weren't aware of them before that?
I may have been, but not in such magnitude.
They appeared for you?
They appeared, they walked with me, and they stood in front of him so I wouldn't have to look at his face.
Wow.
But what I also noticed was they stood with him. They stood behind him and they held him in great honor. And so as a child, I learned that no one is without help and without these spiritual beings, and that everyone is held and loved.
Even if they're not nice people.
Even if they're not nice.
Now, why are they not nice, or why don't they do good things if they have these beings around them?
Because we're all one. You know, of course, I didn't know that at 8 years old.
Right.
I only knew that I was frightened and that I was being helped and that I was able to withstand a 2-year trial.
Wow.
So it was very traumatic.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they did let him go.
Wow.
So that, to me, was the biggest disappointment of the entire process.
Wow.
However, what I got was that I was loved and I was special and that I was never alone and I always had someone to count on.
So those angels stayed with you?
Yes.
And you kept seeing them around?
When I was a teenager, I let them go.
You did?
Because
you wanted to be a teenager.
Yeah.
Go away, go ahead, play.
Go away. But then I would call them back as I needed them. And then they came again very loudly and clearly when I had my own children. And so I would see the guides around my children, and I had this sixth sense of where my children were when they weren't even in my presence and things that were happening.
Why don't you use natural crystal? Why do you use this
Well, in
crystal?
Feng Shui, they use faceted crystal as I use.
Right.
So that's what I was attuned to. However, every crystal has a different message. Every one of these rock crystals have a different message. And some of them do not give their permission to be brought here, to be taken from the earth.
When they're not, when they don't want to be taken.
Yes. And so sometimes we wear natural jewelry, and that jewelry did not give its permission to be made. And also, who worked on that jewelry, you're getting the energy of that person. Now, if you have somebody who is being paying 2 cents an hour, what do you think that energy is going to be?
Right. So you put your individual energy and your thoughts and your meditations into each piece.
Yes.
And each piece is different. I mean, you have all these names and angels. I mean, do the names come first and you make the piece after the name, or do you give the name?
Sometimes I ask, could Athena come forward, and then I'll have the crystals out on the table, and it will form, and I'll know what color she wants. And then I wear that bracelet for 3 weeks or a month, sometimes longer, and I will get messages as to what that being will do when someone wears that bracelet.
So if you make a bracelet with Athena or Kali, those entities show up?
Yes.
They do? How? How?
I don't know. Now, the dark green one is St. Francis and Archangel Raphael, also for
together.
Healing. Together. And
Beautiful.
so a lot of people wear that one. And the yellow is for joy and good health and optimism and having support. So every color, according to Feng Shui, also has a healing property.
It's the color, but also the intention you put in this.
Yes.
So when you...
Well, actually, it's the intention I put in. It actually kind of comes through me. And twice a day there's ritual done for each piece.
You do rituals over the pieces?
Every piece.
What kind of rituals?
Well, we do chanting.
You do what kind of chants? Angelic names?
Some are, and some are Aramaic.
Where did you get these from? It's just like...
It was channeled to me, or it just appeared. You know how we all get messages?
Beautiful.
That,
wow.
You know, so I just listen to the messages really well.
You chant over each piece? You make hundreds of them.
In other words, I would have a few of these in my hand, and I would be chanting, but they would all be the same dark green one.
And what would you be encoding in the chanting of them? What would you be infusing?
This one in particular gets something called the miracle prayer. Which is about intending that we receive miracles, whatever that is, if it be healing. And then I ask Archangel Raphael to be here, and St. Francis at the time. And I know this may sound funny, but we have a schedule. So, for example, you know, it might say Monday on this date, we are expecting Athena to show up. On Tuesday, we're going to be doing Ganesh. On Wednesday, we're doing Green Tara. So there is a schedule that is made in advance of what who we're asking to be present. You're holding It's My Turn. And It's My Turn is guided by Archangel Michael. And when you wear that on your left hand, and we say left because that's how you receive energy, and right is how you give energy. So I don't wear that bracelet because I don't feel it.
You don't.
Because when you wear It's My Turn and you want it to be your turn, you feel it in your heart. It's a tug. It's like, I really, really want this. Bring it to me. And Michael, Archangel Michael, is going to help you get your turn. So
in whatever it is you want.
In whatever it is you want.
Maybe I should wear this one.
And this is balance and harmony. So most of us can wear that because most of us really want balance and harmony. And that's angelically guided. But now I'm wearing Ganesh. And Ganesh is one of my guides.
I need a Ganesh to help break through obstacles and
remove the obstacles, and Ganesh is wonderful because he also puts obstacles if you're going the wrong way. Puts it in your path, so you have to go around if you're going the wrong way. But he is also concerned with our abundance, with us being compassionate, with us being held in compassion, and with wonderful relationships and success in business and in all aspects of our life.
But you know, I don't really wear jewelry. Is there something I could like put in? It would have the same effect of putting in my pocket.
If you put it in your pocket, it will work. It always works better when you can see it.
On the skin?
No, it's the seeing it.
Oh, the seeing it.
Because every time you see it, you have a cellular memory of what you want.
Oh.
And it can assist you more when you see it. Not everything is for me. For example,
what?
Archangel Raphael is just blinging away. What do I mean by that? I mean the light of it just starts jumping up.
Which one's Archangel Raphael?
This dark green, emerald green one, right at the end.
This one.
Yes, and he is about healing and also cutting toxic cords between whoever it wants to sap your energy from you. Try it on your left.
On my left hand.
Try it on
you
your
know, my left hand.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear this in the street. I would look too silly. But I could put it on.
Well, I'll tell you, my husband wears it.
He does?
He absolutely does. He actually wears four bracelets, and there's lots of men. And if you watch my DVD, you see some really strong-looking guys with tattoos that are wearing the bracelets.
I mean, I could wear this when I'm sleeping. Would that help?
You really shouldn't wear it.
Oh, you have to look.
Sleeping.
You shouldn't wear it.
Or you could put it near you. You could put it near you, or just wear it when you're in the house.
Right.
You know, but there are some that are more manly looking. But my husband wears.
I just don't like anything on my person.
Then that's personal, and
but I mean,
we have to respect that.
I could wear like I don't know. I could just.
A lot of men are wearing these pendants.
Oh, these
yes,
beautiful pendants.
And the pendants you can even stick under your shirt, and no one has to see it.
And would they have the same effect?
They have some effect. It's a different effect. The pendants were actually, I made them for my pets.
Oh.
Because our pets are always healing us, and I wanted to be able to do something wonderful for them. And also, I had a dog tell an animal communicator to call me that they wanted to have special jewelry that they had seen. They had been at a show where I was. So all of the pendants have the energy of St. Francis.
For the animals.
For the animals. So St. Francis is about opening your heart to give and receive. However, people love the energy so much because you feel great when St. Francis is around that they started wearing it.
So you put an energy into these stones, and then me seeing that, I'm picking that up on an intuitive psychic level that's empowering me.
Yes, and more than that too.
What?
When we come here, we have about 20 guides.
All of us.
All of us. And we have different guides. So even though I have over 100 bracelets, I don't wear all the bracelets. They don't do it for me.
Right.
If I can get the right guide that's in your energy field, you're going to feel it. Because we only see 4% of what's happening in our energy field.
But you
so right now,
yes,
there's 40, 50 guides here for us.
Are you saying some of them?
I do.
Well, who are you saying?
Well, I told you I saw Robin Hood for
I
you.
like that one.
And I had never really seen him before. And Archangel Raphael is here with you. Raphael.
I never heard
is
about
here with you
Raphael.
now. Yes.
That's a new archangel.
And he's one of your guides, and he's about fairness and that everybody should win. So in other words, competition is great, but we all win.
We do all win.
Yes. And about having integrity in everything that you do. So that's what they show me you are bringing to this world, is fairness. And the Robin Hood archetype, now I have not worked with him, but Thoth is one of your guides, and Merlin and Saint Germain. And so they are from the King Arthur times.
Right.
And Robin Hood is about not stealing from the poor and giving to the rich, but
stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
Yeah, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. It's about bringing all of this knowledge and wealth of ideas and information to the masses.
That is what I'm trying to do.
And I think anybody watching this is going to see your playfulness and could see you just going through the forest, you know, having a wonderful, wonderful time, but then being serious when it's appropriate, when you need to be.
Thank you. Thank you.
And people would wear Merlin. Thoth is responsible actually for the entire mission that I have.
Your entire mission.
My entire mission.
You're doing this to serve.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That was one thing that I always would ask for so many years when I would be driving, when I would be alone, speaking with my higher self, speaking with Source. How can I serve? What is it that you want me to do? And when I do a Feng Shui consultation, which I am passionate about.
You still do Feng Shui?
I still do Feng Shui.
And you still do a jewelry consultation too, right?
Yes. Right. You know how they say if you didn't need any money, would you do it? I would do Feng Shui. And I hope I will be able to do it for my entire life because it really changes your life.
You go to people's homes and you, and you just intuit?
Well, I have studied for many years, many, many years, and I've studied under masters. So I do have that Feng Shui knowledge, book learning, plus I did Feng Shuis in front of my master, so they watch how you do it. But the jewelry is like Feng Shui that you can have all the time. And we always take ourselves into, you can't always Feng Shui someone else's office if you're a salesman. You might not be able to Feng Shui your car. You may not be able to Feng Shui your mother's house. But when you have the jewelry on, you are Feng Shuiing yourself and wherever you're stepping into.
Well, let's talk about how we Feng Shui ourselves. So someone's wearing a bracelet, their energy is shifted, and more of their potential comes out. Is that what you would tell me?
Well, what happens for most people is they then start to work with their guides, and their guides know what they're supposed to be doing, where they're supposed to be going, what their purpose is in life. And now as they head in that direction, they feel happier, they feel fulfilled, and they feel a sense of comfort and peace within themselves. But people will call me, let's say, if they're going through legal issues. So the goddess Mott would show up to help you with legal issues.
Do you read up on these goddesses, or the names just come to you?
They just come to me. Sometimes I have to dowse, which is with a pendulum, because I don't always hear them so clearly, because they're coming from 6th dimension to here where we are on 3rd dimension. And I'll have to dowse for the letters, because I don't know who they are. And one of the things when I started to do this, I had channeled angels since I'm 8, but I did not work with goddess energy. And so I had no idea why they picked me to do this. And what they said is, please don't, I'm an avid reader, please don't read anything. We want to tell you what we will do. We want you to get it from us. We don't want to be pigeonholed. And so the first 20 bracelets took me 3 years to know what they would do for us.
Wow. So you'd make them, and then you'd sit with them,
and wear them every day, one at a time, and listen to what they were telling me, because the crystal acts as an antenna so that we can access them from 6th dimension here to 3rd dimension.
Yeah, so...
It's like turning on your TV.
I mean, we do exist on all these levels and dimensions, and in a way, then the crystal fine-tunes us as antennas to these other dimensions.
Yes, and it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun.
How do I know when my guides are talking to me, or when the jewelry's working, or how do I know?
Well, your life would, for number one, you'd be happier.
I would?
Yeah.
Am I not happy?
You're happy.
I'm happy.
Happier.
I could
You'd
be happier.
We could all be happier.
Okay.
When you wear crystal, when you wear an intentions bracelet, you're happier. And it's about, can you notice it? You know, some people, wonderful things happen and they don't really notice it. So it's about stopping, smelling the roses, and being happier, and then having your life shift, having wonderful things happen for you. But many people will feel the bracelet when they put it on, because that being is coming from the 6th dimension to our 3rd dimension, and actually grabbing your hand and holding it, and now you feel something. You feel something going up your arm. You feel something around your back.
People do feel stuff going up their arm when they put this.
Yes, and it is the most amazing thing, even for me, even though I've been doing it for many years now. When I'm at a show and people come up and they try on the jewelry and they get overwhelmed, they'll cry, they'll laugh, they'll move their arms back and forth, and they'll go, what is happening? Because they don't know anything about the jewelry. They don't know anything about me.
This is like the jewelry for the psychics, the intuitives. This is like, because they are sensitive to feeling these dimensions.
But even all of us are psychic to some degree. It's about, are we open and are we willing? When someone comes up at a show and they have their arms folded, I can't read their energy because they've stopped it. So you have to be open to read someone's energy and for these beings to assist you. So if you're closed, you're not going to feel it, or if you're resisting it, if you're not ready. You know, for me, years ago, I could never wear the bracelet Lakshmi. Lakshmi's about receiving without doing very much.
Well, she's a goddess of abundance.
And beauty, and her main theme is for you not to worry. Like, don't worry, I got it. So I'm not very much of a worrier, but I did have issues around making a lot of money. And so when I would put the bracelet on, it feels heavy and it's not comfortable on your wrist.
Because you weren't ready to receive.
Correct.
Oh, so how'd you work?
I had to keep saying to Lakshmi, I really want to work with you. Please assist me. Bring me the lessons that I need to learn so that I can work with you more fully. I knew she was one of my guides, but I just couldn't get on that same level.
So what lessons did you have to learn? I'm just curious, if you want to share.
Well, it's been a while, if I could remember.
'Cause now you're abundant.
Now I'm abundant, yes.
Actually, you have a whole book of where you go over each of these different goddesses, and you, and then you also have a beautiful DVD.
Yes.
That goes.
Which if you email me, I will send you a free copy of.
That's right. So if you email Shareane, and your email is.
S as in Sam.
Yes.
Baff, B-A-F-F 9 at AOL.com. SBaff9, the number 9 at AOL.com.
SBaff9 and she will send you, if you email her saying you want a free DVD, and I suggest you go for it.
And this is a film. It's not an order catalog, and it doesn't have all the bracelets in it. It is a story of the bracelets, and you will see many other people, men and women, with their experiences of the bracelets. You'll see me up at Omega with a class of 200 mediums that James was teaching.
Really?
And so their experiences...
James Van Praagh.
Yes, James Van Praagh.
Who's a big fan of yours.
Yes. And so you will see them, and of course they're attuned to working in this medium. And then you'll see me at another holistic center where everyone is a neophyte, and it's the first time most of them have never even seen muscle testing, and you can see their expression and what happens for them. And then you can see the altar with the stones that I put these bracelets on. For example, I have my citrine is about this big. It probably took 2 men to carry it into my house. So, and it's interesting, it was done by Claudine Jordan, who is an award-winning filmmaker, who wears the bracelets and said a film has to be made because people need to know about this jewelry and what it can do for you.
And this is the film, Intentions Jewelry. So SBAF at what? AOL?
SBAF9 at AOL.com.
SBAF9.
9. Don't forget that 9.
SBAF9.
9 is a powerful number. Yes.
.com. You know, but it's just interesting as I sit here with them, I'm starting to sense them more. I know you're doing this to uplift the planet and to uplift people and to change their energy field. But what do you feel about the future? What do you feel about 2012 and what's coming? And
I feel it's very positive. I feel that we are responsible for attaining a collective consciousness of being positive. If we all know and stop talking negatively, we can shift the planet, and I think we're doing it. I think there's you and there's lots of other people, and people are being called into action, and they are now in place to really assist the whole movement. So I think that we just cannot give in to that fear. Whatever we fear, we're going to bring to ourselves. So it behooves us to think in a way, to imagine and put a smile on our face. What you imagine should be wonderful and make you happy and ecstatic and joyful and, you know, just in love with yourself and other people. And if we all started to do that, we would shift everything. And I think we're in position.
And having tools actually helps.
Having tools.
Thank you, Shareane.
Thank you, Alan.
Nice that you're here
Thank
and
you.
sharing your insights and your joy.
Thank you for letting me share it with so many people.
I've been talking to Shareane Baff, B-A-F-F, and if you email her at sbaff9 at AOL, she'll send you a free movie of the intention behind the jewelry.
Yes.
I'm Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. Thanks for watching. Email me at newrealities@earthlink.net and check my website, newrealities.com. Thanks for watching.